Hey my friends, it's David Tran and welcome to my 30 days of code challenge, the iOS development with Swift version. Now the reason why I say that all the time because a lot of you guys will be new jumping into the series or you are from like a different series, and I will absolutely do different series like Rails development, Android development, so please wait for it and please subscribe to the channel. This is day number 2 of our 30 days. Now even though that this is day 32, I almost missed filming the tutorial and filming the videos today for you guys because I got a kind of jam-packed today at Wally, and then almost missed it, but I promised you guys. So here I am, here we are. I hope that you enjoyed the last day video. I got tons of comments and questions from last video, so thank you so much. And you don't need to watch like these videos in kind of like sequence. I design it that way. Every day we'll build part of an app or a full app from scratch without kind of like any prior programming experience required. So let's do this. Today, what we're going to build is kind of like the UI of a newsfeed for videos, right? And then the next days, in the next coming days, we're going to learn how to build the plain local videos. So what do I mean by that? This is the complete project. What looks like after we're done today, tomorrow. We have, and the next day probably, we'll have a kind of like a table view. This is what we're going to use, a table view of different videos. Each of the cell, each of the row in the table will be a thumbnail with a button to play the video. Whenever we click onto the button, we'll play a local video, and you can play the video from the internet as well. So without any further ado, I prepare some starter project, some resources, so source code, and the starter and the complete project for you. So please click the link right below this video and download the resources. I will send you those resources to your email, and also when you click join the community, I will absolutely make sure that I will notify you when new trainings coming out every single week. And please, when you join, you also receive the Coders Digest weekly newsletter. This is my new newsletter. Try to do that several times. New newsletter that every single week I send you tons of new trainings, tons of new resources, and great tutorials for iOS developers and developers in general. So without any further ado, click the link right below this video in the description and let's get into the demo. So without any further ado, number one is I prepare so that we save us some time so I can present to you this challenge, the tutorial. I prepare a tons of resources for you to download. Number one is the starter code so that we have a data model, the images that have the thumbnails and the play button, and then a bunch of videos so that tomorrow we are going to play the video locally. Okay, so I'm going to create a new Xcode project, and again I'm going to use a single view application. Now today we're going to learn how to use tail view like this, and also we will learn about navigation controller. So the product name, let's say videos or my videos. Okay, and then I'm going to put this guy on day number 2 and in the downloads so that later on you can download that. Okay, so firstly I'm going to go over the project settings here, general, and below the deployment info you'll see that we have the device orientation. I want to check the landscape left and landscape right because we don't want the app to be in landscape mode. Okay, number one is I'm going to import a bunch of resources that we prepare. So the starter code is the video.swift. I'm going to drag this thing to the file navigator, copy items if needed. Pay attention that we need to check the destination is we want to copy this thing, otherwise it will just create a reference to your folder. And then we want to create groups, and remember to add to target. A target is an imagine that your app it can have multiple targets. Each of the app, for example, this iPhone app is called a target in this project, in this Xcode project. You want to add this file so that the target this project can refers to, and then we finish like this.
So this is a really simple file. It's just a struct. It represents a video, right? The struct is video. It represents a video. So it has the author name, which is this guy, has the video file name. Tomorrow we are going to use that. The description of the video. Maybe you want to show a description, and then we have the thumbnail file name, which is the name of this thumbnail. And then it creates a bunch of dummy data here so that we can use it along with our table view. Then now I'm going to the assets.xc assets, then go to the images. All I have to do is drag these images to the assets catalog. Then the videos folder here has a bunch of videos. We'll use this in tomorrow's episode, okay? So first thing first, again, I'm going to delete the view controller.script because that doesn't make any sense. Then I'm going to run the project to make sure that everything builds successfully and there's no hiccup when we create the project, right? Because maybe it's the first time you install Xcode and you forgot to install some components, and then later on it will be very hard to debug that thing. Okay, so widescreen, that's good. Now let's delete this view controller because it's not what we want to do. If you look back at the complete project, it is a navigation controller and it has a table view. So it goes into the object palette, object library actually. But I like to call it object palette for some reason. It looks nice. Then the navigation controller, we can drag immediately to the screen. The nice thing about when you drag a navigation controller is it comes with a default table view controller. Here we go. Then now, let's click into navigation controller, click into the attribute inspector, and make this thing is a initial view controller, is the initial view controller, right? Then I'm going to select this navigation bar. You see on the on the document outline, you have the navigation bar. Click that, or you can click here. Then over here, because that is iOS 12, then we have the option to prefers large titles, like that. Then I'm going to click over here, change the title into Team Wally. All right, here we go. So next thing is we want to give this prototype cell an identifier, and let's just call this guy video cell. Oops, double L, video cell, like this. Then the next thing we want to do is right click over here, create a new file. Let's call this guy a script file, and it is videos table view controller, because that is the controller for that class. Again, we import UIKit. It is the class videos table view controller. It's subclassing UITableView table view controller, like this. Okay, so at this moment we can immediately go into this guy, open up the identity inspector, then change the class into videos table view controller. Select here, select there, class. Okay, now let's run it and make sure it works. Here we go. So we have the navigation bar. We have a table view, doesn't display anything. We scroll up and the title will change. Really nice. So it works. All right. Next step is, let me look at the complete project. So we have that guy. Let's talk about the cells. So in iOS, the way that you can add data into your cells is really simple. For example, we can have like an array of, say, a video. I'm going to put that just like video 1, video 2, video 3, something like that, so that I can demo to you the table view controller. Okay, so this is an array of string. So the way that you put data onto the table view is you use the table view controller's data source. So let's have a mark called UITableView data source, like this. And we need to implement the first method is table view number of rows in section. Pay attention that you need to have the override if you are subclassing UITableView controller. Okay, you need to have that. Without this, it will have an error. It says overriding. It requires an override keyword, because this superclass, it already implements the TableView number of rows in section. The TableView number of rows in section method returns an int. That is, how many rows are there inside this TableView's section. So a TableView can has multiple sections. Imagine like the contact list app, right? So I'm going to find the contact like this. You'll see that this is a TableView, right? See, each of the cell display the name of the person. So it has multiple sections here. Each of the alphabet letters is a section. Here in our case, we only have one section, right? We only want to have one section inside. Come on. We only want to have one section inside this, right? So each of this is going to be, this whole table has only one section. Then how many rows are there inside this section? Well, we're going to return the videos here dot count. So return videos dot count. So that we videos dot count. Yeah. So we know that, okay, whatever, how many videos are there, we want to have that many rows in the TableView. Then the next method is you need to implement is TableView cell for row at index path. TableView cell for row at index path, the last one here. Now this one allows us to create a new cell. Then we return that cell. During the process, we can customize the cell. We'll talk in just a moment. So first thing first, I'm going to get a TableView let cell to be TableView the key reusable cell with identifier for index path. So with identifier here is the video cell. Pay attention, you need to have this correctly typed like this, because in the main storyboard, we have the prototype cell here has an identifier is video cell, right? So in the videos TableView controller, for the index path, we pass into this index path over here. Then we will return the cell. Now in here, we can actually go into main storyboard, change this cell into, select the cell. Change the cell into basic, style is basic, it has the title, right? Then goes into this, we can do cell.text, label.text to be the videos at index path.row. Or you can do it like this, let video to be the videos at index path.row, like that, okay? Then we have the text is video. Now, I will ungrab this. Okay, now this index path, it contains two pieces of information. Number one is the section. So for example, this section is the first section, so the section is 0. Then number two, the index path, okay, index path, it has a section and the row. So it will tell the TableView the address of a cell or row. So the section 0, the row here is 0 because that is the first row, right? B, this section is 1 because that is the second section. It indexed like an array. So the row here is 0 because that is the first row. Now interesting thing happens in this H section. So the section here is 2 because that is the third section. Then Anna Harrow is at row 0. Daniel Higgins is row 1. Okay, good. I hope that it makes sense for you, okay? Alright, so now when we run this guy, and voila! So we have 3 rows.
Alright, at this point of the tutorial, I think that if you are new to this, if table view is something that you first use, then please be patient with this, because like table view, it has a lot of moving parts, a lot of components into this. We have like the storyboard with the prototype cell, and then the cell, and then the row, and then the table view itself has table view data source, and then table view delegate, which we will talk in later in just a moment. And then the data source has three methods that we have to implement: the number of sections in table view, how many sections are there in the table view, how many rows are there inside the section, and then how does each of the row looks like, each of the cell looks like. I mean, that can be really confusing, and at least for me, I don't know about you, honestly. At least for me, like it takes me a few times, maybe 6, 7, 8 times to work with table views and examples to kind of like make sense of it. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm dumb. but that is what I'm trying to do here. When I do tutorials, when I do sharing trainings, I kind of like baseline almost everyone, because I know that I'm talking to a lot of people, so I baseline everyone. I assume that you guys are just like as dumb as I am. Okay, that hopefully that didn't came across like as it sounds. What I mean is that I try to explain into tutorials for someone that is as dumb as me. Not that you guys are dumb. It's like to explain to a dumb guy like me. Okay, so enough. Let's go back into the tutorial.
So next, let's put in the actual video's data. Now, if you go into the video, the script that I give you, it has a method called fetch videos, right? A function called fetch videos that return for us an array of videos. So now going to the table view like this, what we can do is the videos equal to video.fetch videos. Right? Then this videos will give us that. Now at that moment it will build failed, because this video now is not an array of string anymore. It is an array of video. Right? It is now an array of videos. So this thing is going to be a video, not a string. So instead of video, we will do video.author name. Okay, so now let's run this, and hopefully we get some authors. Here we go. So we have a bunch of things instead of 3, right? We have the author names here. Of course, that's just dummy names. Well, it's actual people actually. Okay, so now next thing is let's recap a little bit. The way you do this is you have a table view controller inside the storyboard. Then in video's table view controller, we have the data source, some data we want to represent. Then implement your table view data source. Give it the number of rows in section, return videos.count. Then we create a new cell, implementing the cell for row at index path. Then we have the cell is tableview.deq reusable cell with the identifier. This identifier is what we give this cell the identifier in the first place. Then we get the video at that index path. An index path has two informations. Number 1 is the section. Number 2 is the row. So the row is from 0 to the number of rows minus 1 inside that section. Okay, I know I can be really fast there, but you can always recap. Okay, then we get the cell, we return the cell. Okay, so now let's actually put in some images, put in some design over here, because this looks boring. Our complete project looks completely different, right? Oops, not the stopwatch, not yesterday, but this guy, right? This is completely different. So let's implement this. How can we do this? Well, number 1 is we can drag this thing down so that we increase the height of this prototype cell, right? I'm going to change the style to custom. Then let's change the height into 250. Okay. Then let's add an image. So I'm going to go over the object library. Let's find for us an image like this. Drag an image to the screen. Then immediately I will use auto layout. Select the image, auto layout here. Let's do 16 to the top, 16 left, 16 right, and 8 to the bottom. Add the 4 constraints. All right, looks good. Then let's change an image into like V1. Okay, so it's starting to appear on the screen. All right, then we will aspect fill. It will fill out so it looks nice. Then now it will goes out the bounds because we need to clip to bounds. Okay, below here, click into clip to bounds. All right, next we want to have this little button here. Object library, search for a button, drag this thing to the screen, like that. So, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to get this instead of a button. I'm going to get an image. Looks nicer. Okay, renders the image nicer because we don't want to click into this button anywhere. We want to click anywhere in the thumbnail. Okay, we'll talk about that in tomorrow episode. So the image here is BTN play. Now the content mode, I want you to use aspect fit because there is a button. Then goes over this pin menu. Okay, this is a pin button of auto layout. Uncheck constraint to margin. Then here, now auto layout, tell you that if you are new to this, we'll use that along very well. If you want to have step by step, like really detailed from the basic to more advanced one, like really kind of like in a very structured curriculum to help you to do this, please check out Total iOS Blueprint. Because we don't have time to cover each and every single thing here in a detailed like curriculum thing. Okay, so I will share with you the challenge. But if you are new, then I really highly recommend you check out Total iOS Blueprint. So here, let me change the width into like 64, height is 64, because this thing by default, this image already has some shadow. Okay, then let's add the constraint. Resolve it. Okay, so I'm going to drag this thing to be like something like this over here. Okay, then here let's add some more constraints. I want to have like how about 24 to the bottom and 24 to the left. Add the constraint. Oops, this is too big. Okay, so if this is too big like this, what you can do actually is you can select over here, select this constraint, and over here you can put it down like this until it looks nice. Okay, so let me say like constraint is 0. All right, how about this guy? You can do the same for here. Of course, now this is not the best way to do this because if you already design it, we have the design, then I don't do this, but I just want to show you like the different ways you can manipulate the constraints here. Okay, then now let's have the label for our author. So label, drag a label over here like that, right to the center. All right, change the label into username. Change the image, the color into white color. The fonts, let's change the font into semi-bold. 17 is good for me. Then now it's a little bit squeezed, so you can click into the label, hold the command key, click the plus equal, command plus. Then boom, okay? So command plus. All right, now auto layout for this username, select username, uncheck constraint to margin, and just these two is fine. All right, so looks pretty good. Okay, so next thing is we need to have a file, a class that represents this new designed file. So we'll right click here, have a new file, and it is a Swift file. Let's call this guy video table view sound. Okay, so video table view sound, we have the video's table view controller and the video. Now I'm going to, because this project is really simple, but still I want to organize our code so that it looks really MVC like. So the main storyboard and the video, the sound here, right click there, new group from selection, let's call that views, right? expand that. The controller, new group from selection is our controller, right? Then the video, new group from selection is our model. Let's see that. View, model, view, controller, MVC, right? So now, in the video table view cell, let's import UI kit, create a class called video table view cell. It is a subclassing UITableView cell, like that, right? Then let's create some outlet into this cell. Go into main storyboard, select this cell, goes into identity inspector, change the class into video table view cell, select the assistant editor. Now it says automatic, but it's not correctly, so go manual, like that, view, video table view cell, or again you can do it like yesterday. You hold the option key, click into the video table view cell, right? Okay, now right click into this image, right click and drag over here, and let's call this guy image, video image, or let's call thumbnail image view. Thumbnail image view. Alright, so it's happening again. Let's do it like this so that we don't have the error. Add ID outlet with var video thumbnail image view is UI image view, right? Copy this. Then we do the username label, UI label. So now let's connect over here, connect image, connect the label, done. Very good. Let's open up the standard editor. So what does this video table view cell display? It displays a video, so we need to pass it a video. Now when this video, that's set, this is in script, it's called a property observer. So whenever this video variable gets set, then this set will get called. So when it gets this set, I'm going to call the update UI method. Then here let's call update UI, like that, right? So when we update the UI, I want to change thumbnail image view dot image equals to a UI image with the name of the video dot thumbnail file name. So multiple things happen here. We want to change thumbnail image view. Where does the image come from? It comes from our assets.css set. We can access that via the thumbnail image file name of the video, right? So in the video.script, it is a struct. It has the thumbnail file name that I created. And then in the video table view cell, we can get the image using the convenient initializer of the UI image with the named. Okay? Then the username label.text is the video.author name. So it's time to pass into this cell the video. Go into the video's table view controller. We have the video here. Now all we have to do now is, instead of using the cell like this, we will cast that as a video table view cell, because in our main.storyboard we have this cell, this prototype cell with the identifier video cell is not a default UI table view cell anymore. It is now a video table view cell because we set the custom class, remember? All right. Then now we can set cell.video equals to video, like that, right? So run it. Let's run. Not this one, obviously. Alright, so we have this. Now, it looks terrible. No, but hey, it displays the image. That's better, right? So I have the image. The image, I think is correct. This looks good. The author name looks good, right? It's okay. Now, what's the problem here that we need to fix? The problem is the height of the row, right? So the table view doesn't have any idea how height is the row. So what we can do is go into table view. There's multiple ways you can do this. In this case, we only want to have one standard height. So you can do this. Click into table view, and goes into the size inspector. The table view here, row height instead of automatic. We will do the row height to be what is that? 250. Okay. So now let's run it. Here we go. And boom. So we have it. Alright. Looking good, looking good. Okay. So next thing is you see there's a little separator here. It doesn't look cool with our design. So we can do is select the table view here. Goes into the attribute inspector. There will be the table view and then a separator inset. You can change it. Oops, the not separator inset, but the separator here change into none. Run it. Okay, so we don't have the separator anymore. Looks good. Looks good to me. Okay, so next thing is this image. I want to have it a little rounded corner, rounded rectangle, right? Just like yesterday. Remember how to do that in the video with a rounded. Okay, so in the video sound, what we can do is in update UI here, we'll set thumbnail image view dot layer dot corner radius to be like 5.0, then thumbnail image view dot layer dot mask to bounds to be true. I know that we already set that right in the storyboard, so let's run that, and here we go. So it has a little rounded corner. Actually, let's do that as 8. Maybe it looks better. Okay, so yeah, I like it. Looks better. All right. Now, last one is, you see that when we select this guy, right, it gray out the table view, right? It gray out the table view like this. We don't want that to happen. So what can we do? We want, let's go into the videos table view cell here. Let's go into below here. I'm going to have a mark called UITableView delegate like this. Now, first thing first, why do we have the mark, the comments like this? Well, this mark comment allows us not only to separate like a chunk of the code in our file, but also there will be a jumper over here that you'll see there's on the methods signature, right? So that you can click here, it will show you that. You go here, there's a property, which is the P property, M is a method, right? And then you have the UITableView data source, and then there's a little separator line over there, which is exactly this mark comment. You see that? Goes here, it shows that. Okay, so now, whenever we click into this cell like this, right, we'll get called to the UITableView that select row and index path. So let's print out select row index path dot row. Oops. Like that. Okay. Okay. So now let's run it, and so that we test what is the index path of that guy. So I click here, you see select row 0. Click here, row 1. Way below here it should be 5. So row 5. Why do I know 5? Because in the video here we have 6. We have 6 rows, right? So click here, row 4, click here, row 3, click here, row 0. Alright, so then we can do table view dot deselect row at the index path, and the method is true. Like that. Okay. So now let's run it. And here we go. So now when I click here, it way out selection is shows us that it's selecting the cell, but it will automatically deselect it. Well, it's not automatic because we write the code, right? Okay.
Alright guys, that is complete. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Day 2 of our 30 days of code, the iOS development with Swift version. Oh my god, we are done. Day 2 is complete. So I hope that you enjoy this. Do you? Please leave a comment right below this video and let me know what do you think about this, what is your questions, or at least please let me know in the comment that you are here. Just introduce yourself. What is your name? Where you come from? Please leave me a comment so that I know that I'm talking to a human being, not a vampire. And the second thing is that please subscribe to the channel so that and turn on notification so that next time when I publish the next video, you will get notification about that. And then click the link right below this video to create a free account with us so that I can send you new resources and the full source code for this video to your email. And then in the upcoming days, when new video training go out, you will be the first one that I tell you about that. And you also receive my weekly The Coders Digest newsletter, which I will have tons of resources and tons of trainings for you that I create specially for that group. So please, it's all free. There's nothing for sales. I hope that you enjoy this, and please leave me a comment, subscribe, and join us in the 30 days of Swift challenge. Until then, my friends, see you tomorrow. Day 2 is complete.